Hello everyone and welcome back to VLGA Connect. It's my pleasure to welcome to the program today Leanne Williams, who's the President of Public Libraries Victoria, also the CEO of Miley, My Community Library, as we've talked about on the program before, and we're talking today about the library's health and wellbeing strategic framework. Leanne, welcome back to VLGA Connect.
Thanks, Chris. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great to see you. And we got some great feedback from the last time we chatted about Miley, which is a pretty innovative approach to where libraries are going in Victoria. One of your other hats is now as President of Public Libraries Victoria. How long have you been in that role?
I've been president now for 6 months, but I've been on the executive for this is my second term in various capacities. So it's a great time to be in this role.
Congratulations on that. Tell us about this strategic framework. Obviously, for councils, health and wellbeing is a key thing they need to be mindful of. They have plans, it all links to council plans, etc. Is it the same sort of commitment that libraries are required to make, or is this an added extra, if you like?
It's not a requirement. This framework was identified through a strategic planning process back in 2019 that the whole sector, library sector, was involved in. And it was identified then that health and wellbeing is an area that libraries already play a really significant role in. Yet we felt the need to, I guess, elevate and amplify the messaging and really promote health and wellbeing in the community. So libraries, we're everywhere and we do a great job in supporting the community, but we felt that voice needed to be amplified. So over the course of the last year, we've embarked on a journey to develop this framework that is really about giving a shared language and understanding what we do well and where we can do more. And it's about mapping and amplifying and inspiring more strategic work.
So I noticed the document's got a date of 2024 on the front cover. So you've obviously set yourself some pretty short-term targets, really, in the overall scheme of things.
Yeah, and I think this is the framework that is going to set the sector up to promote health and wellbeing more broadly. And also it does link in with the council health and wellbeing plan. So this is a document that will assist councils and library corporations with their planning, but also it is about a journey for the next 3 to 4 years where we've identified that partnerships are going to be a really key area to help us deliver in those key priority areas of social connection, mental wellbeing, and physical health. And the launch last week was a great example of having Vic Health on board and starting to develop those partnerships and really promote health and wellbeing in the community.
So I wanted to ask you about the launch. You had a pretty high-profile list of participants in that launch. You had the Minister for Local Government, the CEO of Vic Health, I think it was. Maxine McHugh was leading the launch. You've got some pretty high-powered people supporting the cause.
Absolutely, and it's fantastic to have all of their support. And the more, I guess, visible we're making the framework, we're receiving so much positive feedback. And even post the launch, we were getting lots of really positive comments. And councils across Victoria were saying this is such an important piece of work that's really going to help support them in the future. And it identifies that libraries already play a really big role in health and wellbeing, and it needs to be an ongoing priority, particularly in the COVID recovery and what we're going to have to face the challenges over coming years. And also it was amplified due to COVID over the last couple of years and all the work libraries did in that space.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that cut through of libraries being more than about books. In fact, I just saw a library somewhere using a series of promotions about the different things they do, and the tagline was, "Oh, and we have books." Is the message getting through now, or is this part of, I guess, trying to get more people to appreciate that libraries are so much more than a repository for books?
Yes, it's all of those things. So libraries have been more than books for quite some time. So it's educating and I guess promoting the breadth of the services that we provide. And obviously during COVID, what we provided changed again. So we adapted. And one of the examples that's frequently given is the caring calls to members of the community and checking in on how people are going in their health and well-being. And we are going to be experiencing, social isolation. And I think part of this framework really demonstrates the role that where libraries are already playing, and wanting more within the community to understand that role that we play, and then also be our advocates and promote it even further so we can reach more people and help the community through some of the challenging times.
Yeah, I recall an interview I did not too long back for the podcast about, I think it's Yarra Plenty libraries providing Wi-Fi hotspots to people because a need had been identified because they're sitting in car parks trying to access signals. I guess that's covering all of those three impact areas, isn't it? The social connection, the mental well-being, the physical health in some way as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when we hear stories like that, and then how libraries have come to the rescue and supported people during those tough times, that's a really great example of what we do. And this strategic framework was developed to really give a shared language to all of our stakeholders, to all of councils across Victoria, that we are making a difference, and it's really important that we continue to invest in libraries, and the role that we will play over into the future. I know we've set 2024, but there's going to be an evolution of this framework, and more projects will stem from that.
You talk about that critical need to continue to invest in libraries. Is there a concern or a danger that, given so many other priorities as we come out of COVID, that libraries will somehow get forgotten or missed? Is that part of your thinking in positioning this at the time that you have?
Yeah, we absolutely want to position ourselves really well. And I think that sometimes it's not understood the depth of the service that we provide, hence why this framework is really important. And absolutely, we want to make sure that investment in libraries continues and is continued to be increased, because we want to promote healthy habits within the community. We want to improve the literacy in our early years. And there's key outcomes such as improved knowledge and skills that builds confidence within our community, and it helps people develop meaningful relationships. There's such a holistic support that flows through from the library to the community that's all about empowering our communities. And the benefits that stem from that, I guess that's really what the framework was trying to capture. And investment's really important.
So you've set this target date of 2024 for this particular strategic framework. If we can put our crystal ball to work here, flash forward, let's say 3 years, what does success look like if you've managed to achieve everything that this framework is setting out for you?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. And I think what we would want to have we want to have more people coming and using the library services. So that awareness of what we provide and how we can support all in our community, and particularly the vulnerable, that people are aware that they can come and use our services for free, that ultimately we are promoting positive health and wellbeing within our communities, and that libraries are seen front of mind as a place to support that within the community, that we have really enhanced our profile around the partnerships that we're able to provide, that still builds and empowers the community, because libraries are a facilitator. We are that gathering place within the community. And so we can leverage off lots of other organisations who are trying to do the same thing. And it's about us all coming together to support the community. So it's about positive, healthy outcomes. It's about raising awareness of the profile, and ultimately our communities will be thriving.
How much of that predicted success will be because of statewide action as opposed to things that happen at the local level? Because I noticed the strategic framework sort of splits those two out in terms of actions.
Yeah, we are always focusing on both. Obviously, libraries are delivered through local government, and we partner and have the support of the state government. So it's equal priority, but we need everyone on board, and we need everyone to be, I guess, really promoting and advocating for libraries, just in the way the launch did last week with the Minister for Local Government, who is such a wonderful advocate of ours. And we can't just focus in one area. We have to have everyone being our advocates, not just in state government and local government. It has to be across other partnership areas as well.
So that was my last question, was really going to be about advocacy in a state election year. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I'm not sure there's much that the federal government generally does for libraries with the federal election coming, but you might correct me on that. But is this the sort of gentle advocacy that we're going to see happening, or have you got more sort of advocacy plans as we get closer to a state election?
We do have advocacy. So there's already priorities of the state government. There's the Living Libraries Infrastructure Fund that delivers infrastructure across local government for libraries, and that is such a wonderful fund that delivers the renewal of all of our libraries and new library builds. So that's really important. We do receive recurring funding from state government. So it's really important that that funding is, I guess, meeting the needs and continuing to increase with the expectations of the community. And also, really important area is around digital literacy and making sure, like you talked about, the Wi-Fi in the car park at Yarra Plenty. The infrastructure plan released by Victoria Infrastructure is another really important strategy. So what we're seeing is the profile raised of libraries and how we interconnect with all of the different departments to ultimately provide really essential services within our communities.
Would you like to see councils being a bit more vocal about libraries? Are they vocal enough?
I think our councils are vocal, and we will always ask them to be more vocal. So I think part of what this framework in particular is doing is giving councils the resources and the tools to be able to advocate harder on our behalf. So what we hope to come from the framework will be, more strategic priorities such as this, where they can, we make it easier for them to advocate and connect the dots with all of the other strategies. But all paths lead back to libraries, and we are just that essential, much loved place within our community. And so people need to be aware of that.
Fabulous. Thank you, Leanne. If people would like to see the strategic framework document, how difficult is that to find online?
Not difficult. You can go to the Public Libraries Victoria website, and it's also on the State Library Victoria website. So yeah, really important document, and you can certainly reach out to Public Libraries Victoria if you're having any trouble finding it.
Terrific. Great to talk, Leanne. Thank you very much. Congratulations on the plan. It looks terrific. We'll watch with interest how that progresses over the next couple of years, and open invitation. Anytime there's anything you want to talk about on VLGA Connect, we'd love to catch up again.
Thank you very much for having me.
Leanne Williams, President of Public Libraries Victoria, with us today about the Libraries Health and Wellbeing Strategic Framework, which was launched last week. Thanks for being with us on VLGA Connect. We'll be back with more on Friday with our weekly governance update. Until then, bye for now.